So why should you get into genealogy? That's the basis for this video. Most of my videos are just me going through a line and ancestry and showing proof afterwards, but I really haven't shown myself and why I'm so into this. So if you didn't already know, I'm a descendant of the Bowling family. I'm a descendant of Robert Bowling I and Anne Stitt, his second marriage. His first marriage was to Jane Rolfe, granddaughter of Amunute Medawaka, aka Pocahontas. So that's a really cool connection to have, right? To be that close to the story of Pocahontas, John Rolfe, early Virginia, because Pocahontas basically carries this sort of mystical creature feeling in American culture. There's the Disney movie, which is completely incorrect all the way. But then there's this, she is a real person. Well, is she real? Mystical, because we've never met her, and the only perspectives that have been told about her are not from her perspective. They're from the English perspective. But in regards to genealogy, you should definitely get into it. Why get into genealogy? Like, I'm 33 years old, right? Some would say I'm so young to get into it. The problem with genealogy is that there's this sort of generalized stereotype that you have to be a senior citizen and leave your legacy to your children of this binder of information. Why do you have to? We must get that from movies or something, but we don't need that. You can get into it at any age, really. I would suggest getting into it maybe late middle school, maybe even early high school. It's like the best history lesson you can ask for, because it has to deal with your own family. Without these people you find, you would not exist. So it can make it far more personal, whether they were a Revolutionary soldier, War of 1812, a congressman, House of Representatives, they were a governor, maybe they're just a farmer, just living off the land. Whatever it is, there's going to be a story there that you can tell. And if you go on newspapers.com or Genealogy Bank and you find original newspapers from the archives of the original time talking about your ancestor, your uncle, or your cousin, that makes them far more real. You're like, oh, wow, they were written about, right? Because oral history is just oral history until it becomes real on a document or paper. That's what makes it and solidifies it, right? And that's why I got into genealogy, because it feels like I'm in a time machine whenever I read these documents. Because somebody at some point wrote this on paper in cursive at some point. I didn't do it, but it proves that they existed at this point in time. That's the whole point of the documents, and to see how far back that can go. And it makes the past real. You want the past to feel as real as possible. That makes the story of the person that much more real, right? It's like a movie. You can be told about a movie, but when you see the preview, that's a more visual understanding of the movie. Then you go actually see the entire movie, which can sometimes be different from the preview, right? So you have like these three versions. There's what you're told from someone, their oral history review, evaluation of a movie. You get the preview of a movie before you see another movie, and then you get the actual story movie itself. So you get these three different versions, which is kind of like genealogy, where you can be told about it from someone or read about it on a blog, but may not be correct. Then you find documents to put this puzzle piece together, this story that unfolds, and then you try to finish it as much as possible to see where it takes you, right? So in a sense, it's really just about stories. What are the stories and how do you piece them together? Oral history versus what the document tells you. And if you fit it together enough, you can get, it's really fascinating what you can come up with. So as someone who's young, I encourage anybody to get in their genealogy as much as possible and just try to fall in love with it.